All right, college football and stuff here. It is week 7 of the college football season. In this video, I'm going to be going through all of the SEC games and then adding on the Big 12 since there's only one of those games. All right, starting right off, we have Auburn at South Carolina, 12 o'clock on ESPN. Auburn, a 3-point favorite. And this is a tough game for me to pick. Of course, I am a little bit biased towards Auburn, but really, I mean, they got gifted a win by what was a bad call at the end. Arkansas should have won that game last week. Now, Arkansas had a lot of opportunities there, especially towards the end, to put the game away and couldn't do it. So, got stopped on offense, gave Auburn enough time to drive down the field. It was a bad mistake by Bo Nix, and yeah, Auburn should have lost that game because it was a fumble, but Arkansas had an opportunity there, and I don't know. Bad calls happen. They happen all the time in college football, and when it happened, really made sure that Arkansas lost that game. But I mean, if Auburn could have easily lost on that play, but Arkansas should have, if they really wanted to win, they should have been able to either stop Auburn or get one more first down when they had the ball at the end of the game to put it away, and they couldn't do it. So, yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about that. I don't really know what that says about either of those teams. That was a big comeback by Arkansas. They were down 17-0 at one point. I know it's really tough for them, and yeah, it should have been a win for them. South Carolina has a better offense than I thought they would, which has been really interesting for me. The first time in a while I've been impressed with an offense on a Will Muschamp coach team. I think that this 3-point line is going to move towards South Carolina. I don't know. I don't know if I would say really I'm surprised that Auburn is the favorite here. I think in general, the 50,000-foot view, whatever you want to call it, people think that Auburn is the better team. I'm not convinced. Now, I'm picking Auburn to win this game and cover that spread because at 3 points, I really think that's so close. If you think Auburn is going to win, take them minus those 3. If you think South Carolina is going to win, take them plus the 3, or even consider picking them just straight up with such a small spread like that. Again, I'm sticking with my Auburn pick here, but I am not confident in Auburn in that game. All right, Kentucky at Tennessee, 12 o'clock on the SEC network. Tennessee, a 5.5-point favorite. This was another really tough game for me to pick. I've liked Kentucky so far this season, but Tennessee has looked really good. And super tough loss to Georgia last week. Really looked like they were going to keep it close. Of course, got gifted 7 points right at the beginning of that game, which made the score seem a little bit closer than it probably would have been without that bad snap. But I mean, Tennessee has looked like a good team and really just couldn't get it done in the second half. A bunch of turnovers on Tennessee's part there that also sort of, I guess, elevated the score on Georgia's side a little bit. But yeah, that was a tough loss for them. I wonder if they're, have maybe left a lot on the field. If, people talk about a team beating you twice. I wonder if that could happen to Tennessee here. Now, I think in a vacuum, I would probably pick Tennessee to win by about 5 points. I don't think it's a blowout, but I do think that Tennessee is the better team. That's why this 5.5-point spread is really tough for me. I am going to take Kentucky plus those 5.5. But again, this was a really tough pick. I think this is going to be a very competitive, very good game. And I think the winner of this game is either the second or third best team in the East, depending on where Florida ends up. Speaking of which, we have LSU at Florida, 3:30 on ESPN. Florida a 14-point favorite in this game. Now, of course, both of these teams coming off kind of bad losses. I think Florida lost to the better team in Texas A&M. I think that's. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of argument there. But Florida has, I mean, and I've mentioned it in these videos at some point that poor defense was going to come to get them. I didn't think it was going to be against Texas A&M. I didn't think Texas A&M had quite enough explosiveness on offense to keep up with Florida, but they did. They held Florida just enough and put up enough points to get the win there. LSU, again, also a team that has not looked good on defense at all. I don't think you're going to see much defense in this game. I think if I was really going to bet this game, I would bet the over, not even knowing what the over is. I think both these teams are going to put down a bunch of points. Now, I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think 14 points is too big of a spread either way, no matter who you think wins this game. Because I think Florida, I don't think either of these teams have enough on defense to stop the other one. I kind of trust LSU's defensive coaching staff more. Now, that's mostly Ed Orgeron, because I don't think Bo Pelini is a great coach. He has looked good as a defensive coordinator at some of his stops, though, so we'll see. Now, Todd Grantham at Florida, I think that's going to be just, I don't think he's a great defensive coach. I think he has some issues rushing the passer too much, relying on the rush too much, and I have not seen Florida look good on defense yet. And of course, I haven't seen LSU look good on defense either, but yeah, I think this game is a more competitive game than a 14-point spread. I do think Florida ends up getting a win here, but I think it's going to be a fairly close game. I think 7 to 10 points is probably about what Florida wins by, so give me LSU plus the 14 there. All right, Ole Miss at Arkansas, 3:30 on ESPN2, another game that I've kind of gone back and forth with when trying to choose a pick. Ole Miss, a 3.5-point favorite. Now, I don't know if you're going to see some sort of emotional letdown from Arkansas after that loss to Auburn, where really, yeah, they should have won that game. At the same time, Ole Miss just played Alabama. Are they going to be beat up at all? Now, they put up a ton of points, but they also gave up a ton of points. So this is such a tough game because Ole Miss is going to score points in this game, I'm sure, but they are going to give up yards to Arkansas. I think Ole Miss is the better of the Mississippi schools right now. 3.5 points isn't a lot of points. I am really so back and forth on this. I'm going to take Arkansas plus the 3.5. I can see Ole Miss winning this game if they sort of are able to get a few explosive plays on offense and get away from Arkansas. I think they have a shot. I don't think Arkansas is going to shut down this offense like they shut down Mississippi State's. Now, I think Ole Miss's defense is bad enough that they're going to let Arkansas put up some points. So yeah, I'm taking Arkansas plus those 3.5. Not super confident in that pick though. Texas A&M at Mississippi State, 4 o'clock on the SEC network. Texas A&M, of course, coming off that nice win against Florida. Mississippi State losing again, losing very badly to Kentucky. No offensive points, only points coming off of a safety. I don't think Mississippi State is going to get shut down like they have been these past couple weeks every week, but I don't really like them in this game. I really didn't like what Mike Leach, Mississippi State's head coach, said after that loss to Kentucky, where he basically blamed it on the players and talked about how he was going to have to clean house and decide who really wanted to be there. I do not like that. I do not think it's the players' fault in a game like that, especially when you see him losing that badly, when they get shut down that much on offense. No, that's on the coaches. So give me Texas A&M minus those 7 points. Georgia at Alabama, 8 o'clock on CBS. This is the big game. This is going to be one of the best games of the year, I think. Georgia, of course, looking absolutely amazing on defense. Just killed Tennessee, held them to -1 yards rushing last week. Alabama, of course, giving up a ton of yards to Ole Miss, let Ole Miss put up way too many points in that game. And Alabama's defense looking beatable. Really thought that they had turned a corner, expected them to be better this year, and they just haven't been quite good enough. They're still having some of those issues they had last season, which I'm really attributing a lot to youth on the defense still. I think they have talented players, but they're making mistakes. And I think we're especially seeing issues on Alabama in the secondary and in the linebacker position. I don't know if Georgia really has the weapons to take advantage of that, though. I think Alabama is going to have more issues with pass-heavy teams than run-heavy teams. And I don't yet really trust Stetson Bennett to put the game on his back and win needing to throw the ball. So, although I think Georgia is probably the better overall team, I don't think this is a great matchup for them. Alabama being only a 5-point favorite, I'm going to pick them to win and I'm going to pick them to cover. Now, part of that is I think whoever wins this game, they probably win it by about 10 points. I think you'll probably see someone being ahead 3 to 4 points, get a late touchdown, seal the game. I can see that being Alabama. I think their offensive philosophies are just a little bit different. Alabama is still running more of a high potency offense, and Georgia is running that more standard pro style slug it out offense. I think Alabama is able to get just enough done to put Georgia in a spot where they feel like they have to throw the ball and can't quite keep up. I think there's a good chance that the winner of this game goes undefeated this season, though. So I think this will be the game to watch. All right, tacking on this Big 12 game, since there's only one of them this week, not worth doing a whole video just for them. We have Kansas at West Virginia, 12 o'clock on Saturday on the Fox network. West Virginia, a 23-point favorite, and although that's a lot of points, it's against Kansas. West Virginia has looked pretty good. I like the direction that team is going. Give me West Virginia minus those 23 points. All right, that's going to be it for this video. I got all the SEC games and this one Big 12 game in there. Games that I'm most excited about out of this. Kentucky, Tennessee, I think is going to be a really good game. LSU Florida, I think will be interesting to watch because I think that's two teams that people have been really high on. LSU's more preseason and Florida at the beginning of the season, people were really, really high on. I was high on Florida. I think both of these teams are going to struggle. I think both of these teams have a few more losses coming. I think that'll be an interesting game to watch. I think Ole Miss Arkansas is going to be a super competitive game and a fun game to watch. And then, of course, Georgia and Alabama. I think that is the game to watch. I think if you watch just one or two games this entire season, that needs to be one of the games. This is going to be a great game, and really, I think we're going to find out the truth about these two teams in this game. And I honestly believe the winner of this game has a very good chance of going undefeated, which is absolutely amazing considering both these teams are playing full 10-game SEC only schedules. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, click the like button. If you want to see more of these, subscribe to the channel. I'm doing them every week, picking all the games against the spread and doing a little preview. I'll see you next time.